I don't think that's ever going to get old. I really don't. Welcome to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. Paul Munson in the middle. Billy Mack over on the far right side. Quinn right below me. Ty Bartell holding it down, the foundation. And, of course, Richie Juliana.
That's right.
What, Paul?
Baldy's on the top.
That a boy. Good job. Way to start the show. With that, we are going to go with our national day. It's National Cotton Candy Day. There's not a whole lot to talk about around it. You either like it or you don't. National Cotton Candy Day. So happy National Cotton Candy Day to everybody. Question is, does anybody have, like when you eat cotton candy, does anybody actually taste the difference in the colors of cotton candy? Or is it just straight sugar, like sugary goodness, right? Because I'm the guy that just lets it melt on his mouth because it's kind of neat looking. But, Paul, your stance on cotton candy, sir?
Like you said, it's sugary goodness. There is no distinction in the flavors. Just go to town, get that sugar rush. That's it.
My wife swears that she can taste the flavor difference. I don't know. I thought I had COVID or something because I couldn't taste. It all just tastes like sugar. But Billy, are you in on the cotton candy?
No.
Shocker.
No, I'm pretty good on that.
So, like, when you go to a fair, what do you get?
There's a couple. We talked about this, like when we go to the Canfield Fair. There's like a milkshake.
So milkshake over cotton candy.
Go-to.
I don't know if I can do milkshake over cotton candy.
I mean, there's tons of things I think I'd rather. I mean, it's been so long. I think it's more my niece. She loves cotton candy. She'll eat that up all day long. Can I get another one?
What about the candy apples? Would you take a candy apple over cotton candy? Those things will break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take one of those over cotton candy. Yeah.
Those things I've never been a fan of them because there's no
Full
good
of
way
filling
to eat it. Yeah, well, there's no like. How do you eat that? They're gargantuan. They're like this big now, and then you try to bite it and like you just can't. So, Quinn, how about you? Are you
biting into
candy?
a Jolly Rancher?
Yeah, followed by an apple that seemingly might as well be concrete. Quinn, how about you?
No, I'm not a big cotton candy guy. Mountain Dew's the only thing that ruins my teeth.
If they had Mountain Dew cotton candy, would you be in on it?
Possibly. I'd give it a try. How about that? I'll try.
Have you ever ate the Mountain Dew flavored ice cream?
Yeah, it was not good to me.
I've never had it. I'm just curious since you're a big Mountain Dew fan.
It wasn't too good to me.
Here's the curveball. I've tried officially Handel's grape ice cream. It took me a year. Somebody told me it's delicious. I was all in on it, but every time I got up to the counter, I was like, I'm going back to black cherry. Black cherry is my go-to. It's my home run, grand slam, whatever you want to call it. But I finally had enough guts to what I got up there. I planned it all out. I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the girls' ice cream. I'm going to get myself black cherry. That way, if I don't like the grape, I can just toss it, and I'm not, like, sad about it. Grape is amazing. Straight up, it's amazing. So when you talk
I think
about
that's the great thing about handles. Yeah, you can just take a little part of, like, hey, I'll try this one, and it's okay, it's pretty good. Like, none of them is terrible. We're talking about ice cream, by the way, so it can't be too terrible.
Yeah, let me add on to that real quick, and that was going to be my little twist here with cotton candy, and it's funny that we mentioned Handel's because that's what I was going to bring up. Is Handel's has the best cotton candy ice cream. It's my favorite flavor there. It's the best.
The only cotton candy ice cream is the only flavor I've seen like the same across the board. Like I've never had bad cotton candy ice cream, but it always tastes the same. Like vanilla tastes different everywhere you go. Like you can have 7 different vanillas, and it's going to taste different, right? Vanilla bean, vanilla, French vanilla, regular vanilla, all these different vanillas. But cotton candy tastes exactly the same across the board. I don't know. How about you, Ty? You in on this cotton candy craze?
Literally, I think Richie stole my exact answer. Yeah, because cotton candy ice cream, like regular cotton candy, like cotton candy itself, I'm not really like too big on, but cotton candy ice cream from Handel's is always my go-to flavor. I think it's one of the best cotton candy ice creams around, and I think it's probably my favorite flavor there as well.
Okay, it's funny Kate brings this up. I'll pop this back up. When she was younger, she loved getting cotton candy ice cream from Handel's because no one else in her family would eat it. Everybody's got that one thing, right, that they like that nobody else in their family likes. My dad thought, and my mom can attest to this, is it sherbet? We call it sherbet here. So, but I've heard it called sherbet and all that. So my dad thought that he was getting away with one, pulling one over on us because he didn't think we'd like sherbet. Still don't like sherbet, but if it's the only thing in the house, I'm going at it like a spider monkey. Like, just close your eyes and pretend it's ice cream, right? Just that's how it goes.
Like the orange sherbet, or just
There's like rainbow sherbet.
oh,
Yeah, there's all kinds of flavor
You can
sherbet.
definitely taste the difference there because you get to that. I don't know if it was
grainy.
green or pink or whatever it was, and you just like the last bites, and it's all like soup anyway. And you just kind of choke it down, but it's always better
sherbet,
than
yeah.
the alternative, right? Are you guys sherbet guys? I still can't. I can't do it.
I am, yeah.
Big time.
It was
You like-
delicious. What was that? That Schwann's man used to come around all the time. He used to deliver like
Yeah, the
Swan man or whatever. I don't remember
Stop
what it's
looking at me,
called.
Swan. Yeah, he
He's
I
that
never,
little
we
cop.
never,
Oh,
we
yeah.
never got him. It was like our neighbors always got him, or her, or whatever, whoever showed up. But I never understood it. But it's just a food service. But I thought it was just ice cream. But I guess they had more to offer than ice cream. Like I just thought.
I just remember that for their ice cream, their little individual cups of whether it was like the sundae, and then they had sherbet.
He also thought he could hide cookies from you. Well, yeah, because they had the cookie jar on top and pushed all the way in the back until I got tall enough.
Yeah,
enough.
the ladder, right?
Enough. Okay. No short jokes today, Betos. That I was able to reach the cookies to some. Now, if the cookies were still deep down, like I couldn't get them. Like my arm didn't reach. So I still think he had his ways. All right, Jason Ray saying, "Hey guys, love coaching, but with East basketball delayed until January, I'm thrilled to be able to call some basketball games on YSN this season. Tomorrow night, Steubenville at Mooney. Great show, fellas. I do like rainbow sherbet. Is it sherbet or sherbet?
I call it sherbet.
So do I.
Sherbet too. But I did look. There is no R in there, so I feel like Betos and saying it wrong and messing it up, and I feel like the sherbet gang is going to come after us. So, all right, let's get to some sports. A lot to get to, and as we've tried to make a tradition here on these Mondays, let's get to our win of the weekend. A lot of games, NFL, college football. Naturally, we had some local high school basketball here, a swim meet as well on YSN. What was your win of the weekend? Who was it and why? Let's start because Paul is completely blacked out. Let's go to Billy McCartney.
Well, I'm pretty sure Quinn and I are both going to say the Cleveland Browns over finally beating the team that matters, the Tennessee Titans.
We're going to get to that in a little deeper. I'll remember you said that. So, Quinn, let's go to you. Same thing?
I mean, the Browns obviously was the biggest win for my current feelings. But I mean, we beat Crestview on Saturday, and that was a good win for us. I was happy with it. So JV won, and I'm very happy about that too. So
Congrats, Quinn.
got to coach against Tristan. That was all I wanted. So
You beat Tristan?
I did. I beat Tristan.
Oh, boy. I'd let him on here, but there's not enough F words and beeps that we can get him going. Is Billy Mack going to apologize for the Baker slander, or does he still think Baker sucks? Hang
Second
on,
half
Michael Page.
sucks.
Hang on. We got that coming.
You got to wait, Michael Page.
Browns win of the weekend. I mean, listen, I can get behind that. I really can. I thought they came out and they played very, very well. You know, Quinn isn't picking Kentucky because, well, he can't.
Shut up, Bailey. Shut up.
see,
So we
Not
got that.
deferring the fact that the Browns are 9-3. I'm not letting Kentucky ruin that.
Ty, win of the weekend for you.
For me, to go local, I think it's the Boyd Struthers Wildcats coming into to Fitch and just raining it down with offense. I mean, if you weren't believers of a basketball team in this area, the Struthers Wildcats team, they're not only good, they're tournament good. They're going to be one team to watch that are going to be, I think, going to be going very, very far in this tournament coming up.
I got a chance to watch your call of that game, and man, so much athleticism on that floor at one time. That had to be fun to call, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And no matter what guy they had, it seemed like they had just 10 of the best athletes in the area that were also able to play basketball at a high level because Fitch kept up with them pretty well in that first half, but come that second half, you could just tell Fitch was tired because every guy they were bringing up, it's 0 to 100 right to the hoop every single time. And Yeah, I mean, Fitch just got gassed eventually because those guys are just straight athletes. It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, Paul can attest to this as we get to him for his win of the weekend. Richie, we'll put the brakes on you for a second. Isn't it crazy some of the matchups we're going to see with this local kind of setting? No Trumbull County schools, some other schools on the COVID list. Some of these matchups, I mean, Struthers versus Fitch, that's a dream matchup on any given day, but it's kind of opened the door with COVID for some of these matchups, just trying to get the games in. Paul, what was your win of the weekend, and how fun has it been for you scheduling all these?
It's been a nightmare. I mean, just like, just what we talked about prior to the show. I mean, there was a game that none of us were really aware of. I just got it all figured out for the most part. As we're talking, that's why I went black, because I needed to send some messages to people about getting it covered. So I think it does lead to some really great, interesting matchups of teams that you don't get to see play all that often against each other. So locally, I think it's great. In a scheduling aspect, I think it's just a crap show. Not only like for us as a relatively, I guess you could say, we're a small company, for a small company. I mean, it's a nightmare for us. I can't imagine what these ADs are going through every single day, because you're worrying about whether you're going to be open, whether you can play sports, who you're going to play, how you're going to play them, where you're going to play them at. So, I mean, it's just crazy. So, my win of the weekend was it had to be my win of the weekend, because I know for a fact if they would have lost, I would have not heard the end of it on our chat, and I would have been pissed off if the Raiders would have been the team that gave the Jets their first win. And I was glad they pulled it off and they won, and they can move on because now if they lose, it don't matter. They can lose to a team that's got some wins, so it don't matter. But to lose to the Jets, to give them their first win, I would have just been beside myself, and I would have just probably went dark.
I still think they're going to accidentally beat somebody.
I thought it was yesterday, man. I mean, I texted Paul. I said, I apologize for making fun of you for the Falcons loss, because this one was 10 times worse. And you and Anthony kind of went back and forth. I was editing on some stuff, and I don't have the best reception in the basement. And then it came up on the update that the Jets lost that game. And, I mean,
we just kept getting all the texts back and forth, and then all of a sudden it was Richie. Just was like, ball, all capital letters. I was like, well, that could go one of two ways. Either it was really good or really bad. And
so you weren't watching the game?
Yeah, I had Red Zone on.
I was asking Paul if he was watching the. I figured he always watched the Raider games.
Well, no, I don't have the NFL ticket, so I don't care. I just
students left the password behind.
Yeah, no. So I was like,
big fan there. Watches it represents his team real nice.
I was actually, well, that's what happens when you're a West Coast team. I'm not going to get those games that much. So I was like sitting there, and I was like, all right, I was actually driving, going to get a TV, and he sends that to me. I'm like, oh, so when I pulled over to get into the store, I pulled up ESPN, and it was like, Raiders win on last second throw. I'm like, yes. I was like, thank goodness. Didn't want to hear it. Yeah, I saw that too. 40-0 run. That's insane. Division I record.
Akron's first win in 2 years and change. Incredible. All right, Richie, win of the weekend. We'll go to you.
Yeah, I guess my win of the weekend, and Quinn and I were able to call this game, has got to be Poland over Canfield. I mean, that's Poland's first game of the year, and we talk about local matchups. This is a matchup that we might be able to see 3 times in a regular season, and that's not very common between Canfield and Poland in a single season. So Poland able to take game 1 of possibly 3, and they trailed the whole game. Were able to come back and put together a very good fourth quarter and ended up taking the win. So anytime you can get a rivalry victory in the first week is always a plus.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of go in the same line and say Salem's win over Minerva on Friday was outstanding. Like, came out of the gates fast and furious, and their defense continues to really showcase who they're going to be, I think. And it's a young team that's still learning the ropes. They're going to make a couple mistakes here and there, but, man, they've been able to shore up things really, really quickly. Coach Andres has to be very, very proud of that group over there. One of our own, Matt Mowry, is the JV coach, so he's a big part of that program as well. But a huge win over Minerva, and then we got into a little bit of a Twitter spat after the game with one of the Minerva faithful. So hopefully there was no ill will there.
Big shout out to the rapper out there in Minerva.
A little back and
Little
forth.
gangster, little B.
So
Big Twitter handle.
we
Little Wheezy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was all fun. Like, I don't mind if you give jabs here and there, but if you're gonna tell me how to do what we do, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit back and
Listen, I got my MBA, so I'm gonna tell you whatever I want.
Well, that's the thing. And then he made the mistake of misspelling the correct usage of your, and then it was game over as far as I was concerned. So yeah, a big win for Salem, and obviously the ladies will lace them up against Minerva on Wednesday night. We'll have that game for you. A little bit of a shift in the schedule, as I saw it earlier. It's going to be a varsity-only game, so we'll keep you locked in for that. As far as we talked about wins of the week, Browns came up a couple times. So the question becomes, Quinn, Billy, Richie, are the Browns for real, or was that just a great matchup for the Cleveland football Browns? I'll let whoever wants to lead the discussion. Go ahead.
I'm kind of waiting on Billy to say something.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Billy.
I think everybody's waiting on Billy. I think the world's waiting on Billy, which means the red carpet's out. Go ahead.
All right, where to start? I think it was, like I said earlier, it was a quality football win. Finally beating a team that's going to be in the playoffs more than likely. It was good to see. It was good to see Baker finally making plays. I mean, wide receivers were so wide open. I'm not going to take anything away. I thought Baker played pretty good for the first time all year, but I still need to see more of it. I'm not just, I mean, just because you play one good game doesn't mean I'm coming off any type of things that I've said earlier in the year. I don't think Baker's a great quarterback. He's going to have to keep proving it to me. I mean, not that I'm anybody, but he's going to have to keep proving it to me once my fandom. So I was on his I was driving that bus for a long time, and I got off of it because I'm not blind. Yes, they're winning football games, which is great. But it's not anything because Baker. If you take Nick Chubb out of that offense, it is a big deal. Linebackers, safeties are flying up because they expect Nick Chubb to get the football, which is creating separation and wide open routes for these wide receivers. So there's a lot of things that go into play. They're playing good team offense. Their defense is I don't know what the hell they're doing in the second half of football games. They are just giving up yards and touchdowns and just stop playing. It's disgusting what they're doing. So hopefully they can figure that out a little bit going into potentially what could be a playoff run.
97% as it stands right now that the Browns are going to the playoffs. Richie Giuliano, your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns this weekend?
I mean, it was terrific to watch. I mean, that's the first time really all year that you kind of just sit back and like, we're just taking it to a good football team here. And, Tennessee coming into it, everybody knew they had a good run defense. And, that really allowed for Baker to kind of open it up a little bit and show himself against a team that really took it to him in week 1 of last year. So Baker came out with that revengeance kind of attitude, and, he took it to Tennessee. And, to what Billy said, our second half defense continues to struggle, especially with a big league. I mean, they showed it back against the Cowboys and then this week against Tennessee. So that's definitely something that they're going to have to work on. But overall, I was happy with it. And, it's nice to see that we could beat a good team and what Billy said, a playoff team moving forward.
It's interesting that we're classifying Tennessee as a good team now because, I don't know, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, somebody on this show, I'm not going to point any fingers, has said,
I didn't say good team. I said a team that's going to be in the playoffs. You can rewind it if you want.
We'll rewind it. That's 2 times I've heard Tennessee referred to as a good team. So interesting that
said it twice.
Oh, he said it twice? Okay. Quinn, on to you in your assessment of your Cleveland Browns.
Okay. Mine's not as drastic as everybody else's. We won. Just accept it. We're winning games, Billy. I don't care how you win the game. You just win. If you win every game by 1, you're a Super Bowl champion. So, win, period.
Yeah, I mean it's so great to have the fourth best quarterback in the NFL playing for the
He
Cleveland
looked
Browns.
like Peyton Manning that first half. Second half, he looked like me.
I know he should be in the MVP race.
Literally, you guys look exactly the same.
Horrible second half. But we won, so I don't really care.
I can tell Steve was pissed on our group chat yesterday with Billy. Like Billy keeps trying to get under my skin in the group chat, and I just kind of let it go. Steve was ready to fight. He was ready to throw hands.
I'll see you in the parking lot.
You want to assess the Cleveland Browns? You weren't watching. You were buying a television.
What? Oh, no, I didn't get to watch. I was on mute too. I didn't realize I muted myself. I was talking and nobody could hear me. I'm like, what the hell? No, Steve was mad because it's like, listen, as a Browns fan, you haven't had a winning season in like 14 years. You haven't made the playoffs in like God knows how long. So he's excited.
Haven't made the playoffs since 2003.
Do you play football? Your team is designed to just make playoffs or win a Super Bowl.
At this point,
this Cleveland Browns team,
Any
is not
team
designed to win a
in the
Super Bowl.
NFL does not just play. Hey, let's get in the playoffs, guys. That's our goal. That's all we want to do.
You don't go from 0 to 60. I think that's what you're missing.
You do.
Check marks on the board, Billy.
Really?
Win your division.
Yes.
Have a winning season. Win your division.
I don't care.
Did you
It's
see it
here
during the game
to
yesterday?
win
They
the
actually
Super
rolled it
Bowl.
out for you, and I wanted to take screenshots of it and send it to you. This is how you create a program.
No. Here to win a Super Bowl. Period.
Well,
Okay.
That's why you've been a miserable Browns fan for how long? Because you think
That's their fault.
Is
can
he
not
really
my
a
fault.
Browns fan?
Their fault.
Is he really a Browns fan though?
It's not,
Like,
it's not, it's not my fault.
let's take a poll. Is it like if you're winning, if you're 9-3, are you really a Browns fan if you're bitching about it?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want because I lived through 0-16 and 1-15 back-to-back years. I'm allowed to do it.
They're all expecting the bottom to drop out at any moment. So they're all cynical and they don't believe anything.
Because we've been through this.
Down now, we're still a wild card, so I don't care. Let it drop out. We made the playoffs. That's all I want.
He's just a miserable football fan in general. And Steve says, go Minka. And not true. If you are a Lions fan, I would love to just make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I made the assessment once. I made the just painted the picture of between Anthony and the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl last year. I think it was Quinn. No, maybe it might have been Scotty. There was a Browns fan. Like comparing misery. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, first off, Anthony, you just won the Super Bowl. Was it you said it was Scotty?
100%.
It was you?
Yeah.
Quinn, like you don't have a right to be miserable. You're a Cleveland
I'm not
fan.
miserable. I'm excited. We're 9-3.
Okay.
So here's my assessment of yesterday's game. I felt like they were going to win. Did I put money on it? No. Would I have? Probably not. But I felt in a way that Cleveland had the upper hand because there's no pass rush for the Titans. Zero. I saw that in the Steelers game. There's no pass rush. So when that's the case, Baker Mayfield is going to pick you apart. Like limb by limb, finger by finger. He's going to pick you, and that's exactly what he did. Add on to that it's the worst third down defense I've ever seen. Like, I almost made the comment last night. Baker looks like Patrick Mahomes. Like, when you watch a game with Patrick Mahomes, how are those receivers so open? And watching that Titans game, I couldn't figure it out. How were all those Browns so wide open? It was incredible to me. So the Browns had the advantage. I think it's like if you're a Steeler fan, it's like playing the Jaguars because you always know that the Jaguars match up well against you no matter how good you are. So the jury's still out for me. Everybody thought that the Titan game is going to be this landmark game for Cleveland and its fans. I think it's this week right here. I think it's the Ravens game. I really do. You beat the Ravens. You got 10 wins. You plant your flag.
Do you think we can play the third string Ravens like the Pittsburgh did, or? No?
Oh, are we still on that?
I didn't know which Ravens teams we were playing. Sorry.
Are we still on that?
I didn't know. I just didn't know which team we were playing.
Gotcha. He's not just a miserable Browns fan. He's angry all the time. That's from Pletch. And then if Browns fans are complaining, they have serious issues. I would agree with that. And by the way, Billy, don't care that we played the third string quarterback. Don't play. I don't care if it was the vending guy. we got the win, and that's all that matters. We got 11 wins, going for 12 today, which we're going to talk a little bit about because I'm really concerned about this line. But the one thing I want to talk about before we're there is the guy in the back there that does the show from 12 to 3 said the New England Patriots are one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. Ty,
No.
I want to get your opinion of this because I don't see
Stop it. Stop it.
No, I mean just no. They're not. I'm impressed that we are 6-6 right now. I was expecting a losing team, and I mean wildly inconsistent with our wins this year. We're going on. We're beating teams like the Ravens, but then losing to the Texans. Like we're very wildly inconsistent. But I mean that's just a mark of a good coach. That Coach Belichick is even able to get this team to a 6-6 record when I think they should be way worse than that right now. But no, not a dangerous team. I do think that with offensive pieces they could be dangerous in the future. I mean we don't have half of our defense right now. I've been really impressed with the way the defense has played in some capacity, considering half the guys are out this year or opted not to play this year. But the offense is still just I don't know how you could call a team dangerous with an offense that is as inconsistent as the New England Patriots. I mean, Jacoby Myers is kind of our best receiver right now, and he's not even that great. So Edelman's out. We don't really have anything at tight end. Running back is always up in the air. I mean, Damian Harris, James White, Burkhead, it depends
20
on.
years.
Yeah, and then
They have
Cam
the
Newton
worst offensive weapons in the
as
NFL.
inconsistent as the rest.
What's the worst offensive weapon?
What?
The New England Patriots. They have terrible weapons on offense. Outside of Cam Newton, they don't have a weapon worth talking about. That's basically what
They
Ty's
used
basically
to.
saying.
They wore the number 12.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean that it also
the same
goes back
weapons.
to like what we talk about of how good Tom Brady is, and it wasn't just a system because Tom Brady played with almost the exact same team and got them 10 wins last year or 11 wins last year.
Yesterday's game to me was nothing more than proving what has already been proven, that Bill Belichick owns rookie quarterbacks. That's all that said to me. So 45-0 was the score.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised because Herbert's been playing so well that he didn't score at all. It's impressive to not put up a goose egg or to put up a goose egg on any offense in the NFL in today's sport. But it's also, on the other hand, that's pretty terrible to not score any points at all in a football game in today's NFL.
You know
You
what's
throw a
even
pass
worse?
down the field, you get a pass interference call, and you're in field goal range. So,
You know what's even worse? To go 16 games and not win one. That's
yeah,
pretty bad. That's
yeah.
pretty bad. And given the fact that the Browns were popping bottles yesterday for their 9th win of the season, thinking that they might be off the hook for the only, or I guess staying on the hook for the Jets going into 0-16. Cruising altitude right now to 0-16. And then the Browns can magically vanish the way that, let's just say it all together, Jeff Bezos' Lions did when the Browns went 0-16. So
Didn't we really go like 20? Didn't we lose 20 in a row, though, that year?
No,
Like running into
didn't
next
you
year?
go 4-0 into the preseason?
Preseason games don't count.
Well, you can't roll it into the next year. That's stupid.
Preseason games are exhibition. They don't even count.
But at least it's on the same year.
They don't count.
So what? You want to compound your misery into 2 seasons now?
Yeah, that's basically what I've been doing my whole life as a Browns fan, like most Browns fans.
Well, I'm sorry for that, man. That sucks. So here's my question for you as far as quarterbacks go. If you're starting a team right now, 2020, are you taking Cam Newton or Baker Mayfield? Those are your 2 options, and why? We know where Billy's going to go. Let's start with Munson.
I'm taking Baker. I'm taking Baker because I just don't – Cam Newton's not the Cam Newton he used to be. And even when he was an MVP and was playing down there in Carolina, I still didn't really truly believe that he was that good of a quarterback. So, I mean, Baker's had to prove himself. I mean, Billy's talked about it before. On the other side of the argument, Billy's like, oh, he wasn't a good quarterback because he couldn't even get scholarships places. Well, he still got on those teams and was the quarterback, so he fought his way to be that starting quarterback on those teams without getting a scholarship. And he's made his way to be an NFL quarterback and win 9 games. So I take him.
Richie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm still taking Baker as well. I mean, one, because I'm a loyal Browns fan. The other one because same thing what Muncie was saying up there. I mean, Cam Newton's not the same. You know, he's banged up. He's coming back. Although he doesn't have many weapons, I never thought he was that great anyway. And, you know, Baker just has that killer mentality in some games where he comes out and could really put it to you quickly. And, you know, that's what you want to see out of your starting quarterback. Yes, he does have multiple weapons. He has a great offensive line, one of the best pass protectors in the league. But I still think that the way he performed against Tennessee, and we'll see moving forward, if he could pick up a big win on Monday night against the Ravens, maybe even knock off the Steelers, who knows? I mean, it just all depends. It's all in his hands.
Better watch your mouth.
Well, I got a quick question, NFL-wise, as he says beating the Steelers. You being a Steelers fan and these guys all being Browns fans, Steelers come into that game 15-0, first place locked up, Super Bowl's got to go through Pittsburgh. Cleveland Browns fans have a playoff spot locked up. The game means nothing. Do those guys all still have all their starters in?
Yeah.
Cleveland will.
Browns will.
Cleveland 100% will.
If I'm
Baker
Cleveland,
probably
honestly, if I'm Cleveland, if I'm the head coach of Cleveland, I'm saying rest my guys.
Cleveland
Because Pittsburgh's going to have a bye week the next week, so they're going to get rest. So they might play through halftime, play 3 quarters, and then break off.
If they're 15-0,
bye week, huh?
If Cleveland will ruin that. They will do everything they can to ruin that.
I don't think so.
They
I
will.
don't think because you're one injury away from your entire season crumbling. Everything you work hard for because you want to beat the Steelers. I think
what
you as a fan want to
what
beat the
injury
Steelers.
would make us end our season?
Quite honestly, on the offensive side of the football, either an injury to Baker or Landry or Chubb.
Chubb already got hurt.
What's that?
Chubb already got hurt. We won football games.
Yeah, you're not winning in the playoffs, brother. Not without Nick Chubb. That's a damn guarantee.
I don't know. That's what they said against Tennessee, though.
What's that?
And Chubb had like 30 yards in the first half against Tennessee.
But if you don't have to account for Nick Chubb and all
So
you
got
got to
Hunt.
do is ISO on Kareem Hunt, it's over. It's over.
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough argument. I think Hunt's still a great running back, too.
Not as good as Nick Chubb.
No.
Not even on the same level.
So, DJ, to your point as a Steelers fan, do they rest some of their guys?
If the Steelers are going to get a bye week the next week, they won't rest until the third or fourth quarter when the game's in hand. One way or the other.
Are they chasing 16-0, or are they going to sit there if you're Tomlin going, even though you know you have a –
They don't care about 16-0. And Ben's made this since the beginning of the year. He says, I'm not chasing MVPs. We're chasing one thing, and that's the Lombardi Trophy.
So why would you rest those guys and give them that?
Because they're already getting rest. If they're 15-0, they're getting rest the next week regardless. They're getting a bye week. They're the only team that would get a bye week on the AFC. So you're not going to get. They're susceptible to injury as well. However, they'll have a week to heal up. The Browns won't. The Browns, if it ended today, and we all know that's the worst thing in all of sports. If the season ended today, they're playing the Titans again in Tennessee. That's the way it locked up. And I would be really interested to see how Tennessee changes its game plan, because there wasn't a whole lot out there other than stop the Browns more in the first half that they could do different. I mean, Tennessee is who Tennessee is. If you take out Henry,
which they did,
they're ISO'd.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't have
Henry
like I said yesterday, they don't have the horses to compete down by 30 points. They just don't.
They got 2 really good wide receivers though.
And they were very mediocre yesterday.
Well, one had 185 yards.
But he got hurt, didn't he?
Corey Davis went nutty, 9 catches for like 185 yards.
And they got Humphreys, who got doinked in the face with the football. I mean, like,
Brown got hurt.
Could not believe. Yeah, and A.J. Brown got hurt. Russell Wilson, top 5 garbage. Catching up on some of these. Steelers can play starters. They can have bye week regardless. But here's the thing.
I'm saying, like, what if somebody dives in and blows out Ben's knee?
That happens every week. Like you've completely surrendered yourself to that as a Steelers fan. That all Roethlisberger wants to do is ride in on a white horse and save the world. Like he's.
I hate this discussion. I hate this discussion that we always have towards the end of the year. Is like, what should teams do? Should they start, sit, rest guys? Because like at the end of the day, like play the game. If you play the game the right way, you take that chance every week, no matter what.
I mean, you look at yesterday's game with the Browns. To Paige's point, the Browns did everything right in the first half. They didn't have a misstep. They didn't have a miscue. They didn't do anything wrong. The Titans could not get out of their own way. I mean, they tried to run Wildcat, and the dude couldn't even grip the football. I mean, it was insane. But to the point of if it's 15-0 and the Steelers are sitting there against the Browns, they're playing their guys because they get a bye week the next week. The Browns would be really, really dumb to try to put that game over the game the next week. Because that game, if they're already in the playoffs, there's nothing to win. Your seeding won't change. Why would you go all out against the Steelers? Rest your guys for a week that need to be healthy. If they don't, play them for a half, see where you're at. If it's a competitive game, keep playing. But
where is that game?
Cleveland.
Which doesn't matter. I mean, Roethlisberger's got ownership papers of the damn place anyway. I mean, I think he owns half of it. So why would you play your guys?
Being in Cleveland, I was just thinking maybe they're going to come out for some of their fans. And if it was in Pittsburgh, I could maybe see they could be like, we don't give a shit. Who cares?
What fans? All 5,000 of them?
12.
Still got fans. Yeah,
yeah, they're coming out for the cardboard cutouts to point at. I mean, like, why? Like, do it the way that the Patriots would do it. Do it the way that the Steelers would do it if they were in your shoes. You're not playing Roethlisberger at 37 years old, banged up as much. If there's nothing on the line, you're just not. You're not. You're just not going to do it. So, from that standpoint, you might see a second or third string quarterback. You might see Ben take a knee on it, but again, that old, you want to keep it moving.
Can you
right?
see it now, Quinn? Can you see it now? You only beat us because we didn't play Big Ben.
Imagine if some jackass said that for 11 weeks to you. Imagine that. You know, the only reason you don't want the Steelers to go 16-0 is because it's the Steelers. That's the only reason.
And?
Just saying. I'm just saying, Billy. We have the same exact schedule, and for 11 weeks, I've heard you chirp about Steelers don't play anybody, but you get a win over the Tennessee Titans, and all of a sudden you get 6 to midnight, whatever it is, and you're sitting there, oh, Baker's my buddy again. I'm the number one Baker Mayfield fan. Let's go, Baker. I mean, I can show you. I can show you that you were a Steelers fan in our chat last night. You had terrible towels waving, dude. Come on. Like, come on. You control somebody else. You ain't trolling me, homeboy. Twirl it up. Go Steelers.
Yeah, I've also conceded that Big Ben's going to win the MVP. Some idiot on the Steelers is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year, and Tomlin's going to win the Coach of the Year.
TJ Watt?
Yeah.
You don't think he's in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year?
Oh, yeah, and then the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl.
Browns coach is going to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Wait. So Mike Tomlin goes 16-0.
Okay.
It's the Browns. Come on. Let's be honest.
I don't even care. What does Coach of the Year mean?
It doesn't mean anything, but my thing is this.
Let them have it.
You've had 21 years of great draft picks opportunities to get your team together. Like, literally, that's almost one first-round draft pick every year on each side of the ball. Like, you could have completely redrafted a new team, and you still stink. You should be 9-3 right now. You should be.
It took this coach to do it, so that's why he gets Coach of the Year.
But that's no, because they should have done it last year, and they should have done it the year before. Like, that's the thing; nothing has changed.
Steelers go undefeated. I guarantee Mike Tomlin won't get Coach of the Year. Browns make the playoffs. he gets Coach of the Year.
Put money up, because if they go undefeated, there's no way in hell that they're just going to not allow the Coach of the Year to have an undefeated team. There's only been 2 other teams who go in a regular season undefeated.
He has to be.
They both got Coach of the Year.
He has to be.
Or you have that co-coaches of the year.
No. That's not what he's saying. He's saying those coaches who went 16-0 got Coach of the Year for good reason. There's only 2 teams that have ever done it.
And only one the whole way. They don't know that history.
And this is where it's at. EB's nailed it. Tomlin gets Coach of the Year. Barry will get GM of the Year. I think that is a stronger case.
I'm not really sure why, though.
I'd agree with Barry getting GM of the Year.
I agree with that.
Youngest GM, first off, comes in as the youngest GM ever, gets a right tackle. We draft Wills on the other side, and then you also got Hooper, who we paid good money for, plus the draft picks that we got in the past and now that we're going to have in the future, too, in some trades. So, I mean, and we're 9-3. So,
hey,
I mean,
get out of here with that Miles is better than TJ Watt crap. That's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. Myles Garrett is way better.
Yeah. Okay, Billy. So if you lose Myles Garrett, is your season over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one guy.
Wasn't he just out?
No, I don't know. Yeah, he was just out for 2
Yeah, and we get zero pressure.
And you
but
still
our
won the
defense
games,
is still
right?
good.
That's not
Did you
good.
still win? But wait a minute. Wasn't that just your argument a few minutes ago?
It's not good. I just said our defense is not
Nick
good.
Chubb was out. Nick Chubb was out, but we still won the game. Nick
Yeah,
Chubb
I
was out,
said
we
name
still
me
won
a
the
player,
game.
and you couldn't.
Nick Chubb was out.
It's not
Still won
my
the game.
job to name a player. You didn't name him.
What do you mean I didn't name him?
Before Billy paints a bad picture here, there's 2 players that if the Browns lose them, they're done. And it's Garrett and it's Chubb. That's it. The rest we can deal with. It's not hard to turn and give the ball to Chubb. Anybody can do it.
I don't think you win it without Baker.
I do. I think we have a better shot. If we lose Chubb, we have a better shot of winning without Baker than Chubb. Need Chubb.
See?
Browns got 5 sacks without and that's my thing. If the Steelers lose TJ Watt, season over. Like if Bud Dupree's in and TJ Watt's out, it's done.
If they lose Roethlisberger, it's done. They could live without TJ Watt.
We got 5 sacks all against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are on pace to set a record of most sacks ever in the NFL. Given up. So let's get real excited about that one. Hey, we got 5 sacks without Myles Garrett. Thank you. Coming right in behind. There you go.
But let's be honest though. If you've won, it's proven that you can win without Myles Garrett. It's proven. It's statistically proven. You just did it.
We're not going to beat good teams without Myles Garrett.
I mean,
We've proven that we could beat anybody without
that's the same
3
thing
out of our 4 starters.
Roethlisberger.
Huh?
And Odell's out the
Hey,
way.
you can win without Roethlisberger because you did. You won 8 games. You won 8 games. We beat the Eagles
Because of TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick. That's why. And that's what I'm saying. Offensively, yes, you're right, Quinn. If the Steelers lose Roethlisberger, see you
I
later.
think that one hurts more.
It's toast.
Personally.
But TJ Watt, if you lose TJ Watt, we're already very thin at linebacker on defense. Bush is out. Dupree is out.
You got what's his name that came in that one game looked like a tank.
Yeah. What, you're talking about the white linebacker, 41,
Yeah, that guy. I like that guy.
Spillane?
Whatever his name is, I liked him.
You saw him for one game,
Yeah,
and you haven't heard his name since.
I
So
don't
my thing is this: if we're
Connor's
hoping Robert Spillane can fill the shoes of Devin Bush, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. Like 16-0 doesn't matter because you're not going anywhere. And that's great. You guys can talk about being the 3rd team to go 16-0, but all we ever hear about with the Patriots, Ty, is what about that 16-0 Patriots team?
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing too. And I mean, I said it I think last week too. You'd like to see. I think if you're a Steelers fan, I mean, luckily they do have teams like the Bills. They're going to have some more playoff teams. But I mean, I'd rather lose. You'd rather lose in the regular season than in the playoffs. And sometimes a loss can do better than more good than harm going into the playoffs, because then it could really fire up a team. It could really get a team motivated and focused, because sometimes if you're just winning and all you're used to is winning, teams can surprise you, because then you got this big target on your back. Everyone wants you.
My problem with that, Ty, is losing breeds losing the same way winning breeds winning. If you lose, you could be on for a little bit of a skid down the stretch.
I know I get all the crap that I sit and watch stuff here all day, but I watched the thing the other day on the 85 Bears, and they said the best thing that could have happened to them that season was that loss to the Dolphins. Singletary came out and said, we lost that game. He goes, our flight back home, we said right then, that'll never happen again, and we are winning the Super Bowl, and it's over. And they said they were refocused. Because they said they were
different era, Paul. People, I mean, the players like that, they're not out there anymore, and especially this Steelers team. Jeez, oh man! Listen, I mean, do you remember a couple years ago we had Bell, Brown, and Ben in the locker room, and it was like days of our lives each and every Sunday. I mean, Roethlisberger was talking trash on Brown. Brown was talking trash on Bell. I mean, Bell was coming out with rap videos for his hose. Or whatever. I mean, it's just the Steelers are finally in a good space where Ben can just be the leader, and everybody just resigns to that. And the Browns, we talked about it yesterday again, and I hate to keep doing inside information. We talked about it. The Browns are a better team without OBJ. There's just no question about it. You can see the chemistry. I almost said Roethlisberger. Baker Mayfield doesn't look like he's flustered to get the ball or force the ball to OBJ. He can throw the ball wherever he wants to the open guy, and that's been the difference.
Baker Mayfield has the strongest connection with Rashard Higgins on that team than anybody else, even Landry. And I'll go out to say it, from the games I've seen, Baker's chemistry with Rashard Higgins is greater than any of his other receivers on that team.
I don't think sorry, go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, to touch on that, Ty, I mean, Baker Mayfield threw to 9 guys in the first half alone. I mean, that just shows you, he's getting the ball where people are open instead of forcing things to Odell, where you saw that last year where it's like, oh, okay, where's he at? I got to get him the ball at some point. And, it just results in turnover. So, I mean, I like that, I don't like to say that I like him being out, but I think there's definitely a difference where, when he's out, we get the ball into more people's hands, and, it obviously causes a lot of yardage on Baker's part.
Paul, would you put 50 cents in the kitty for that?
No.
Slime ball.
I delivered them. That was my fee.
Bernie saying that being a Steeler, you need to lose to win the Super Bowl. I don't agree. I think it could go backwards really quickly.
You don't have confidence in your team that they could recover from that?
I think they're too young. I really do. I mean, I think that it's more, hey, we're 16-0. Let's not disappoint ourselves. We worked hard to get it this far. I mean, if they lose now, like if they lose, and we're going to talk about this really quick, if they lose to Washington today, which the line continues to push back towards Washington, even though nobody's betting them. So something's going on. It started at 10.5, and now it's down to 6. And it's in Pittsburgh, and I don't understand why the line keeps moving. I'm looking everywhere. Nobody can explain, because the bets are not heavy on Washington. So this is a little bit crazy that people are betting, or the line's moving down to 6 points in favoring the Steelers, because I got to think that the Steelers are 7 points better than Washington. If they're not, we got big trouble.
There's some breaking news coming out. Maybe somebody's not going to play right before the game time decision or something.
Well, it's a 4:30 game, so we're only an hour away, and yeah, I'm with you. Line's moving to encourage the late money. They got me. They got me at 6. So we'll see. I could be eating more crow this week, because they burned me last week, and we'll see if they do it again. But no kicker now going for it a lot. No, they signed a kicker who's like the all-time leading kicker in University of Central Florida history. Like, he still has records for them. Listen, Boswell wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire. He missed an extra point last week that he shouldn't. I mean, I think extra points should all be.
What they do? Cut him or they?
No, he's on the. They just deactivated him, I think, for the week. So I don't know. I mean, 6 points is hard to pass up. The Redskins or Washington, they're bad. They're just bad. But we'll see. We will see. I don't know. Like I'm a little bit more nervous now that I'm actually talking about it, thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. But they got me. There's a trap there somewhere. There's a trap. So
I feel good at that 6 points.
I do too. But I'm betting it. And Captain RP back there wants to talk about it and doesn't want to take the action. So that's my thing. Again, no, you know what? I'm gonna lead off. What's your beef? I'm gonna lead it off right now. Where's the damn thing at? Hit the button. G. Burbick Farms, What's Your Beef? Brought to you by G. Burbick Farms. Visit them on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Their family's farm, your family's freezer. Okay, let's lead this off with this. Again, for the zillionth time. If you are not going to bet, if you are not going to place money, if you are not going to place anything of value, please stop putting your mouth and your words out there. They don't matter. They don't matter. They just don't matter. You can't be 57 and 54 and it matters.
It's very specific.
There's no money or anything of value on it. Stop trying to give advice. I get it. It's free advice. But nobody cares because you're not putting anything on it. There's nothing you're putting on it that benefits anybody. If you're not willing to back it up, stop talking about it. You are not a bookie. You are not a gambler if you don't gamble. If there is nothing that is going to transfer from this hand to this hand, stop telling people you're winning or losing. It doesn't matter. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Paul.
Yeah, mine is, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier as a joke, but people who want to complain about what we do, but when they get an opportunity to do what we do, they don't want to do it. So that's just annoying. I mean, listen, we're doing the best we can, and people want to bitch about, well, don't say you're doing the best when you're not doing the best. Well, listen, we got a lot of people who want to do this and a lot of people who don't want to do this. So we have a lot of games to cover. We got a lot of schools to cover. We are doing the absolute best that we can do. And I think we're doing a hell of a job. And the people that are out there doing this are doing a hell of a job. And the people who want to bitch about it, either step up and do something about it, or like you just said, stop it. But I'll even go a little further. Shut up. We don't want to hear you. We really don't want to hear you, because if you don't want to try to help the situation out, then don't complain about it, because it's free. And we're doing a hell of a job. So,
oh, and if you go on the air for 4 hours and then you go do a game that night, take it easy on the announcer that's doing it. I don't care if it's me or anybody. Relax. That is a lot. People don't realize what goes into a 3-hour show, and then you add another hour show on top of it, and then you add doing a broadcast on top of that. Oh, by the way, without a roster. Try that one. That one's fun.
Yeah, easy, Jeezy, Neezy, Pizzle.
Billy Mack, what do you got?
Okay, so I'm going to go the other way with my beef. It's a dressed up beef. On Saturday, the A squad, we ended up we crossed a couple roads, and we ended up heading out to Jackson Milton and Camel. And when we got there, they were really excited. People from Camel and same thing with Jackson Milton. We were super excited that we were there to call the game. And even one time they had fans in the stands that came over. Mom and Dad came over and said, "Hey, you're mispronouncing our name, Jeff." And just hey, it's no big deal. Just this is how you pronounce it, which was awesome to me because of what we just went through the previous days. So big shout out to them. And at the end, the AD thanked us for coming, was excited for us to be there. And they said, we hope to have YSN here every single game we have. So, and we had a lot of fun doing it per usual. So, I mean, there's not a game that we don't do that we don't have fun. So
Banger.
Banger.
All right. Richie, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go off that and what Billy was talking about, like mispronunciations and when people get upset. Well, some people have to kind of realize that, when you go online and look up the team's website, they don't have rosters there. They don't even have the coach's name. You try and email the AD, and I've done this before, they don't answer. You try and call people, they don't answer. So, you have to realize that sometimes when you even try and contact those resources that could give you the rosters, they don't even answer you or it's not available. So when you get to the game and you don't have a roster and you're kind of just flinging it on the go and just looking at names and, you're pronouncing it the way you think it's spelled, it's hard to get there and then, try and do what did he say? What did the tweet say? Like what I don't even know what he said, like a perfect job or something. He was quoting something. I don't even know what he was saying. But I think just people have to realize that, sometimes the resources aren't even there. And, rosters and mispronunciations it's part of the job. And you know what, if you're going to come at us, just tell us, hey, you know what, this is how you pronounce it going forward. Say this instead of that. And, I'll be more than happy to say, okay, like, thank you. But if you're going to come at one of us, then whatever.
You want to talk about a guy that's got every beef about his last name. Nick's last name you can pronounce about 35 different ways, okay? And he's heard them all, and he's heard each, and he doesn't, because it's not about him, it's about his kid. He understands it. My beef the other day, and the whole reason, because usually I don't respond. You guys know me better, but they got my goat a little bit, because they went at my boy Ant, they went at Anthony, and then Anthony tried to help out, and this guy came back, and Anthony said that we always do our absolute best. We do. We don't send anybody out there to not do their absolute best. And trust me, it's harder than it looks. We are not professionals. I will never claim to be we are fans doing a fan's job for you, the fans. And we're trying to help out the student athletes, the coaches, the programs, the schools, the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, you name it, the neighbors. My issue with this guy was he wanted me to sit there and tell me that I wasn't doing my absolute best. And trust me, everybody that knows me understands we don't bring people on that don't give 110% every time. And that includes myself, because I don't want to let these guys down, right? This guy is going to be on ESPN someday, and I don't want him to feel like this is a JV product. If we mispronounce a name, I can promise you it is not on purpose. I can promise you that. I can promise you it's not in the preparation. Could I have been more prepared? Absolutely. We all can. But at the same time, when you're on air for 4 hours, there's 2 hours of prep before that. I was here at 7:30 in the morning to make sure we were ready to go. By 7:30 at night, that's a 12-hour day, right? And these guys are all doing it. And they're doing it with their regular jobs on top of it. So I want to say thank you to them. And I want to say thank you to the cat on Twitter that wants to point fingers and tell us that it's not our absolute best. So sorry to you got me fired up, Rich. You got me fired up all again. And I want to say thank you to, was it Jackson Milton that came over? Thank you. Because that means the world to us. We talked about it the other day. Quinn, go ahead. What's your beef?
My beef, a little soft. I was going to give it right back to you, DJ, give you my block for this too, but mine's going to be with my team picking at me for my shoes. I don't care what they look like. I'm going for comfort, and they're kind of ugly, but I like them. They're comfortable.
Get some Jays.
I like them, man. They're nice. They're white. They're nice.
Velcros?
No, I feel like
you got some K-Swiss.
No, they're. I can't. I'm not that flexible, but I like them. I don't care what you think. They're mine. Suck it up.
Beto's throwing some shade.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Not to you.
Beto's literally knocked the entire camera down in the middle of the game.
What was funny though, Billy? I was watching that. The camera stayed the same.
No idea how that happened.
I'm not even kidding.
Everything that was connected to the camera was gone.
And like the action was still going on too. You could still see him playing. Like you guys were talking about it. You were talking about it like the camera got knocked over, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, how? Like,
what are you doing? Oh, we're on camera.
Also, before we get Ty's beef and end the show, I do want to let people know that with all this, I mean, we had the D6, D7, All-State, honorable mention, first team, second team, third team come out today via the OHSAA. Quinn was nice enough to put a post up for us. That's now on ysnlive.com. So you've been hearing it all day on Ron Podesta's show. You've been hearing it, of course, all throughout. There's tweets and congratulations going out everywhere. It is on our website if you want a detailed list of that, of all the accomplishments. We do want to congratulate Bo Brungard for the co-offensive player of the year in Division 6 and the defensive player of the year, Cam Hollabaugh, in Division 7 from Warren JFK. So congratulations to those two. Thanks for Coach Seidel for reminding me, bring that back up, because that's fantastic. Jeff actually taking some ownership. I'm saying Billy showed up and I did not. Does that mean I don't have to pay him?
He was there. He was there. He was lucky Campbell didn't come out and shank him.
I got to be honest.
He talked to the Campbell players right before the game. We went up. I go, hey, go up there and ask them how to pronounce this name and this name and this name because I know you're gonna. Well, I told them. I said to Betos, I said, hey, go over there and ask them how to pronounce these names because I know we're gonna have an issue with these names.
So how do you pronounce your name again?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he did. He went up to one of the kids, and they were sitting right now. They're only like 3 feet from us.
It's Smith.
I mean, 6 feet. They were at least 6 feet from us.
He said it's Sanchez. Sanchez.
Yeah, go ask him what number 0's name is. You know, go ask him. Go. I ain't doing it. You go.
We had a roster. There was a couple names in there. If they got in the game, we were gonna have a hard time with. Both of us.
Jeff has a hard time.
No, both of us. We were gonna have a hard. Oh boy, it was out there. It was a funky name, so we did get the pronunciation though.
All right, Ty, put a bow on it. What do you got?
I mean, just to kind of go off of what everyone else is talking about. Yeah, my beef is that if you're going to be complaining about things, just know that all the precautionary measures and everything we go through to make sure like pronunciations of your kids' names are correct. I mean, I know guys like Richie and guys, of course, like you, DJ. I mean, we're always trying to make sure. I mean, like we understand like it's your name, and if we're going to be saying it a bunch of times, we want to give credit where credit's due. We want your name to be, up in the lights, in the spotlight when you're doing something good for your team. And I mean, I personally, I'll go over to the scoring table. I'll go to the coaches, and I'll run through the list of guys' names and just make sure pronunciation's correct. So if it's not correct, just know that we've gone through and exhausted almost every possibility most of the time to make sure that your son or daughter's name is being pronounced correctly. And if it's not there, if we don't have the resources to be able to do so, we're just going to try our best. It's not anything against us. It's not that we just don't care. We're trying our best legitimately to make sure that your son or daughter's name is being pronounced correctly and is being put into a spotlight for some time.
This is a direct quote from yours truly at the Sebring game the other day. Coach Seidel was up there, and I said, how would you pronounce this name? And he goes, and he gave me the pronunciation. I said, well, it sounds like we're going to go last name on him all game. So that's what we did. Ty, you hit the nail on the head. It's not ill preparation. It's just, let's be honest. Coaches have better things to do than answer our questions 5 minutes before a game. Players are on the floor. We don't exactly have access to players who are on the floor during warm-ups, nor do we want to mess up where their headspace is. So, listen, the beef is over. This guy learned quickly that you don't mess with YSN on Twitter via Billy McCartney and via Anthony Hartwig. So, again,
I'm still doing it. I just sent him another one today.
He just doesn't let up. Games at a glance tonight, guys. Make sure you're watching YSN because we are jam-packed again on the network. Edison and Steubenville going to be swimming. That starts at 6 o'clock. Also, at 6 o'clock, Heartland Christian hosting Camel and a little bit of girls hoops. Also, girls hoops, 6 o'clock, Jackson Milton and Lowellville, and Ursuline and Crestview. Those are all 6 o'clock starts. 6:30, Anthony Hartwig will have Poland versus Jefferson. Poland looking to get that win back under their belt after that loss to South Range. in Salem, right? Or did they beat Salem? I can't remember. I'm trying to keep it all straight.
They lost to Salem.
They lost to Salem. So Canfield, Richie, you have that game versus CVCA girls basketball. That's a 7 o'clock tip. I will have the call South Range versus Struthers. That's another 7 o'clock tip. And the final game is going to be United versus Columbiana. Eric and Anthony Malone will have that call 7 o'clock tip down in Hanoverton as well. All these games and more can be found on ysnlive.com/live, or if you just go to ysnlive.com and click on the live games tab, it's the first one. You can have access to all these as well as links to them. And again, they are all free thanks to our sponsors, the ones below and the ones you will see during the game. So that is going to do it for the YSN Power Hour. Boys, you know what tomorrow is?
That's right. Trivia Tuesday, baby.
Trivia Tuesday with the most
I want a better
handsome
partner
host.
this week.
What?
I want a better partner this week.
Get
Find
what
one.
you get.
One that won't literally mess up a question about himself.
Fine.
Give me Quentin tomorrow. I got Quentin tomorrow.
All right, Ty and Quinn are a team. Richie, you going to be here?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
He's disappointed. Listen to the disappointment in his voice because he's missing Trivia Tuesday. Maybe we should bring on someone like one of our fans to bring. Maybe Coach Seidel. If he's not doing too much, maybe he'll come on for Trivia Tuesday. Somebody could team up with him. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Make sure you make it a YSN night because we got a lot on the network again. ysnlive.com/live, all courtesy of Paul Munson's great scheduling. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow.